Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I am your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And on today's review episode, we are reviewing a pick from the Patreon list. This is FernGully, The Last Rainforest.
Shout Factory for kids.
Deep in the heart of the forest, there is a magical world where wondrous creatures play the day away.
Cassowaries, kangaroos.
Red light again.
And where an unusual girl named Krista dreamt of faraway places.
I thought it was Crystal.
Hey,
I think it's Krista.
It's Krista.
Ignored the warnings of her friends
Krista, stop!
and flew where no one had flown before. There, she made a huge discovery.
John Smith.
It's some fucking guy from the valley.
You shrank me?
Yeah.
Catches on quick, doesn't it?
Are you really a human?
I'm Zach.
The most human
I'm
name
Krista.
around.
This weird
I'm
creature
Kyle.
is a human.
Don't you think you're a little old to believe in human tales?
Humans don't have tails. They have big bottoms that they wear with bad shorts.
Now, Zach is rocking
Doesn't know
and
what shorts
rolling with
are.
a reptile.
That's Sinbad.
It's Tone Loc.
Blasting off with the Beetle
Tone Loc
Boys.
lizard.
Hanging 10 on a falling leaf.
Cowabunga.
And swinging around with a bat who's totally batty.
That's his name, get it?
Yeah.
I can see it's a miracle.
But with Zach came other humans
You see Zach anywhere?
We probably cut out early.
who accidentally released an evil force named Hexus.
They're just explaining the whole
There goes the
movie.
neighborhood.
Now, to get back to his world, Zach must help Krista find the courage.
This is a long
We've got
trailer for
nowhere else
this
to
movie.
go.
It's half the length of the movie.
Magical power to
I know.
save
Movie's hour
our
is 16
world.
minutes.
Well, all right, Gummy. We're going to war. Daddy, let's go! Hey, Captain!
20th Century Fox invites you to witness the wonder, the music,
Witness me.
and the adventure of a place worlds away from anything you've ever seen. FernGully.
Oh, and that's it.
It's technically FernGully.
FernGully.
It's
FernGully.
FernGully, also known as FernGully, The Last Rainforest from 1992. This a directorial debut by Bill Kroyer, written by Jim Cox and Diana Young, starring Samantha Mathis as Krista, Christian Slater as Pips, Robin Williams as Batty Coda, Tim Curry as Hexus, Jonathan Ward, the kid from Mac and Me, as Zach, Grace Zabriskie as Maggie Loon. Did I get that right?
I think Magi, or is it Magi? I think it's Magi.
No,
Maggie.
it's Maggie.
Yeah, it's the worst pronunciation of that. Jeffrey Blake as Ralph, Robert Pastorelli as Tony, Cheech and Chong as Stump and Root, Tone Loc as the Lizard, Townsend Coleman as Noddy, and the list goes on. So this was a Patreon pick chosen by Tyler's Blood.
Yeah, my sister, Mackenzie Miner.
That's right. And
I wonder if she's listening right now.
I don't know. Maybe,
Listening/watching.
yeah, maybe not on the YouTube live. We don't have many people in the in the chat right now, but maybe on the podcast.
I wonder
stream
what
later.
they think about FernGully. I want to watch.
Yeah, let's go FernGully. But yeah, so this has been on the wheel for a little bit, and the Patreon selection, basically the way it works is if you're a $5 Patreon and up, you get in the rotation for the Wheel of Destiny, and we have 2 slots for Patreon members. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes they come back to back, sometimes you got to wait a little bit. I think the next one on the wheel after this is Jack's pick, Jack Fitzpatrick. So anyways, FernGully, 1992, kids movie from birth of your year of birth, right?
Yeah,
Both
92.
1992.
Both you two youngsters were born in 92.
When movies started being good.
maybe 93. That's when Jurassic Park came out, right? So anyways, this is going to be a fun watch. Tyler, do you want to read the thing from Mackenzie, or do you want me to read it?
Yeah, so I reached out to
I
my
think you guys
sister.
should read it together.
Yeah, let's do it. Just try to synchronize it. You want to synchronize it?
No, we're not going to do that. No. But I did reach out to my sister to have her give her thoughts on it, why she picked it and whatnot. So she said, sorry, I had to rewatch it. I picked FernGully because it is...
Wait a second. That part is probably just the beginning of your guys's, the first message after your like long conversation, right?
No,
why did she say sorry? I had to rewatch it.
I don't know, because she was apologetic that she had to rewatch it. And she didn't get back to me promptly.
That's why she's apologizing for leaving you unread for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
you don't need to leave that part of the conversation.
All right, fine.
Tyler, editing on the fly is not Tyler's strong suit. Okay, continue.
I picked FernGully because it is one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid that I think is still watchable as an adult. The animation is super good. The voice acting is excellent, even with star-studded cast: Tim Curry, Robin Williams, Cheech and Chong, Christian Slater.
Way to call out your sister for a basic typo.
Hey, I mean, we're cut from the same cloth. What did you anyway?
Say that. That's an insult.
It doesn't feel like Chris Pratt and Mario just being Chris Pratt, for example. The anti-pollution and deforestation message is also something I appreciate about it. Kids' movies with a purpose. All in all, it's an enjoyable watch. Even the songs are kind of bops. Candidly, the plot is predictable and nothing new or special, but the previously mentioned animation and voice acting make it underrated, in my opinion. Well, thank you for reaching out to me, Mackenzie.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
doing it now.
We're going to go into it now.
We're going to go into it now.
And Tyler, you're going to lead us off. What's your relationship to FernGully?
Well, I only saw this movie once, and I think what really sticks with the movie for myself is the name. It's a very unforgettable name, FernGully. You'll remember that movie.
It's a gully full of ferns.
Yeah. I did write a letterbox review on it, so...
Oh, hello. Come along, won't you? As Tyler reads his own letterboxed reviews. This is me, myself, and Tyler.
All right, you have your ready to go. This would be a seamless transition, no hiccups, no bumps in the road.
No.
Great production. Ready?
Yes.
And
so
go.
It goes. Yeah, it goes like this. I gave this movie a 3-star rating. This movie felt like a movie where parents would put it on so they could have an hour and some change to either get busy or have a couple of NyQuils.
Get busy.
Couple of NyQuils.
Yeah. The animation felt lush. The story is simple, and the movie was tight storytelling wise. Although I wouldn't revisit this movie, it was just okay. Not a bad thing, and I would show this to my own kid, but why did I say that? But on a rewatch.
Who wrote this?
But yeah, I don't know what I was saying at that last part. Anyways, grade B-, end of report.
Oh, a very short, tight review.
I don't know.
3 stars, B-.
I think I was still loopy from my lack of sleep last night.
Oh, you wrote that this morning?
Yeah.
What were you doing last night?
Don't worry about it.
The listeners want to know.
I was living life.
Why are you not prepared for the show?
I was out spitting wisecracks at bros talking about Pulp Fiction.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot about the dynamite story you told in the Gavin
That was
chatter.
a funny story.
Okay.
It was the funniest thing you've ever heard in your life.
No, I won't say that. But no, I was very proud to have it right off the cuff right there. It was a light bulb.
Light bulb, you get it?
Yeah.
It's very literal.
Because it's a light.
Yeah. Great.
So 3 stars, B-.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like this movie, it has a star-studded cast. The animation is really well done. It makes you feel like you are in an actual, well, I shouldn't say you're in actual rainforest. It definitely gives off the air of an actual rainforest being presented to you, maybe through a child's eye. And I still stand by my statement that this movie feels like you put your kids in front of, and then mom and dad, they go
get busy.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, we got an hour and 16 minutes right now. Let's make it worth it.
Yeah,
hour and 16 minutes. So what are we going to do with the other hour and 14?
Well, we did that. So we got all this time. Maybe we can watch FernGully.
But I thought. But the story is so goddamn simple. It's hard to knock it because it leans into what it's presenting to the audience. There's no There's no like really ambiguous sort of like plot lines or plot holes.
These people good. This person bad.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, I mean it's essential, and I think you were saying it was the inspiration for Avatar, and it's. I
don't know if it's necessarily an inspiration, but the story beats of Pocahontas and Avatar and FernGully are all very similar.
Yeah.
Outsider comes into the nature universe, the tribe of people who are connected with nature. They didn't respect nature before, and then they are unlocked through her connection to now be respectful of nature.
The villain design was really awesome. I really enjoyed the
Hexus.
The Hexus. And I thought what I thought was a little bit inappropriate was Krista's whole outfit.
I'm surprised you're saying that you didn't like it. I figured you would have had your wang out for this whole thing.
Oh well, no. I'm saying I liked it. I'm not saying I don't like. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying. But for a children's movie, it just, I don't know. And you know that Zach
about to have the hardest boner right now.
You know, when Zach and Krista, he was nailing her.
Oh God. So where's the line? I mean, because you've on the show, you are stick to your guns that Lola Bunny sexualization is necessary. You said this. You said there's nothing wrong with a little sexualization in a kids movie.
Yeah, well, I guess in my advancing age, I'm kind of sympathizing with what parents are like. There's too much sex in this movie.
Are you mental?
She's just throwing it out there though in that outfit.
Oh, she was.
What you saying though is that you should just see it? Did you see how she was dressed?
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was a little bit. I mean, if we're gonna do a compare and contrast with Lolo Rabbit and Krista, like, you know, she has that hiked up dress, like cheeks barely.
It's a leaf.
Cheeks barely showing.
What do you want? It's a leaf.
Well, I mean, you know,
make a burqa out of it.
Yeah, why not? But Lolo Rabbit, she's just in a basketball uniform, so you know
that's true.
But anyways, overall, I think this was a blast from the past because I hadn't seen this movie since I was a child.
How old do you think you were when you saw it the one time?
Oh God, like I had to have been like 6 years old.
6 or so.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years old.
Seems like a good age.
But strangely, I remembered every single scene from the movie. Like I remembered the songs. Like it all came back to me. I was like, holy shit, I do remember watching this movie.
They say that music ties strongly into recollection of memory.
Yeah.
You get those, what's it called, Alzheimer's patients that can't basically remember their name.
They use music.
But they use music to unlock their like memory and stuff.
Interesting. But anyway,
it cracked through the mono veil and got through to your this history of FernGully.
Anyways, I thought it was okay. I didn't have a bad time. I thought it was okay.
All right, Joseph.
Pretty similar to Tyler, honestly. Like it delivered the message, and it portrayed it or presented it in a way that a child could digest the information. Maybe not like the significance of, I guess, how it ties into reality, but to at least plant the seed of this thing that's happening is not good.
It's bad for the environment.
And there's this physical creature thing that represents the evil part of everything and why they're on this side. And then the fairies are who live in this last rainforest, supposedly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Supposedly.
I assume it's
dubious.
It doesn't really ever say where it is. I assume it's the Amazon.
I have a bit about that.
But yeah, I mean, it was like, I've never seen this before. I've only heard of it. And the only reason I ever heard of it was because of Deanna, because whenever Avatar was brought up, she was like, that's just FernGully. And she also has only seen this movie once before. This was not a movie that was like present in my childhood. I was more of a Fantasia kid.
Fantasia's dope.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Also kind of scary, honestly.
Night on Wall Mountain. Original Fantasia or Fantasia 2000?
Original.
Oh, okay.
With the fucking devil.
Yeah,
comes out of that mountain.
That's Night on Wall Mountain.
Yeah, that is a badass.
Great song in general, but that it's great.
But yeah, I didn't like it. Like did its job. Like the movie delivered the message and it made it digestible for everybody, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to criticize it on any real level. I guess the only way I can criticize it is that I probably wouldn't watch this again.
Yeah.
And it's very middle of the road in terms of like polarizing or controversial, or it's very just like very tame in its story. And Robin Williams did this and Aladdin the same year.
Yeah,
At least they both released the same year.
This was his first foray into voicing animation, and I don't think anybody really even thinks about this baddie, the character baddie, when they're thinking about Robin Williams voicing, because Genie was just a home run.
Yeah, it was just like elevated version of that type of character, that zany, wild.
And I'm pretty
character.
sure they like upped his like voice pitch with Batty too, because I didn't
catch that.
Well, so I didn't know Robin Williams voiced that character, but it reminded me of Robin Williams. So knowing that now, I was
So you didn't realize it was Robin Williams throughout the entire runtime when you watched it?
no. I was thinking, I was like, man, that guy sounds like Robin Williams.
Oh my god,
Go figure.
it is Robin
Noted
Williams.
voice actor Robin Williams. Couldn't be him.
There's no way he would do something like this.
I know. Batty, isn't he Genie?
Yeah.
Nah, you can't do more than
No,
one
but
role.
I think they upped his pitch and voice because
Maybe.
Robin Williams has a little bit more of a deeper voice. Like when he plays Genie in Aladdin, it sounds like Robin Williams, but Batty
It sounds like it could be Robin
it
Williams.
could be.
like they're related or something.
Oh, interesting.
All right, cool.
But yeah, it didn't really do much. I guess that's all I can say about it, really.
All right.
Sorry, Mackenzie.
Okay, yeah, so...
There's no nostalgia factor.
Yeah, so FernGully for me, I have never seen this movie. I don't... I thought in my head I remember scenes of it, but I think I just know of the characters from just the zeitgeist of it and knowing that people compare it. And I know the story plot of it. I just didn't realize that it was... They shrink him down into the size of a fairy. You know, I've seen clips of it at best, and that's it. Because I'm watching it and I'm thinking, they wasted so much gold with Robin Williams with the character Batty. Like he didn't move the needle for me at all.
Yeah.
He was like trying to be a character that didn't connect to anything else. You know, it was like this weird experimented bat that was, you know, it kept kind of channeling the humans that were torturing him prior in his life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a really interesting idea. But they did nothing with that. And there were moments in the movie where you're thinking, no, it's a kid's movie. They don't want to spend too much time talking about vivisection of bats and experimenting on live animals for products or whatever.
Right.
But the movie does a very good job of presenting a very frightening villain to children. The time when Hexus goes into the big logging machine and he's scrappling himself up. He's got like an Uncle Frank moment where he builds this like smog skeleton, pulls himself out of the muck.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. God damn. This dude he's a no joke villain.
Yeah.
A little confined, you know, to the smog and the pollution or whatever. But, you know, so I felt like Batty was wasted. And in I was looking through some of the trivia for it, and Robin Williams had 14 hours of improvisation lines for the part, which they recorded.
Wow.
And it basically boiled down to about 8 minutes of screen time.
Jeez.
And it still felt like a wasted opportunity, in my opinion. So the other thing that I noticed about this is it's really hard to compare animation of that era to not compare it to Disney stuff, because that's the golden era of Disney animation.
Yeah.
Aladdin and The Little Mermaid are like perfect examples. And they're like absolute 5-star, 100% classic movies. And this falls very far short of all that.
Sure.
I think that there's some interesting techniques that were used in it, kind of like a CGI animation, like computer graphics laid on top of hand-drawn animation. But as much care and detail that goes into something like a Ralph Bakshi movie, I feel like this animation is a little bit more pleasing to the eye than a Bakshi movie, but doesn't have as much attention to detail and care into the detail.
Right.
So
yeah.
it looks better. Each cell looks a little bit better than a Bakshi movie and less like terrifying.
Yeah.
It looks more friendly to a child's eye.
Yes.
But it doesn't go into the deep scale of something like, you know, Akira.
Right.
Which is unbelievably detailed, or
Yeah.
Bakshi, which has some really lush backgrounds that are super intricate and really put you in their place. It's kind of like, it almost looks like a lot of the scenes, they're kind of zooming through the rainforest, look almost like a watercolor background that just kind of gets skimmed over.
Or like a Miyazaki movie too.
Oh, as far as detail goes?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. And all that stuff is like, it's hard to not compare them one to the other. But the thing about FernGully is that it was a fully independent production. You know, it was not done under the studio system or anything. And it had a $24 million budget, which is
Really?
a lot. Yeah, a lot for an indie movie.
Yeah.
But most of that went into the animation and then the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Which
I assume
was
also maybe the cast.
Yeah, I would imagine probably some of that too, but it was the
Tommy Chong's got a high bill.
Alan Silvestri did most of the music. He's a famous composer. He did Back to the Future and a billion other it's Back to the Future. Pretty sure Back to the Future.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Alan Silvestri. He has a really long pedigree of soundtracks and whatnot, and so he's got a big cost. Some of the music was pretty good, but a day later, I watched this last night. I don't remember much of the songs.
Yeah, they weren't very memorable.
The lyrics felt like they were kind of forced into rhyming, and it didn't the rhyme was more important than the actual message is being vocalized. So there's a lot of this that left me very disappointed. But
sorry,
do I need to take away your fiddlesticks over there?
No.
No.
I was just throwing pens in the last segment.
Sorry.
How many times did you drop your pen last segment?
2.
Hey, you counted.
Yeah, I counted 2. And he's still spinning it.
I'm not.
Yeah, Alan Silvestri's done a lot.
My hands are free.
Give us some of the highlights.
He's done Lilo and Stitch. He did some of the Avengers movies. He did Predators. He did Bridesmaids. Most recently, he did Still, the Michael J. Fox documentary.
Probably because of the connection to
Back to the
Future. Yeah.
He did Prey, did Doctor Strange,
God
did
damn.
Top Gear. He's done Loki, Black Widow, WandaVision.
This man never stops working.
A lot of stuff.
He's like a
Mac and Me.
Well, there you go. That's how they got the kid from Mac and Me in this.
Yeah.
So I mean, that itself is a huge cost or whatever, and the music it wasn't like I said, it didn't seem bad, but none of it was super memorable. And the characters, like the voice acting, it wasn't like Robin Williams was bad. It's almost like the decision of what they used in the Robin Williams stuff was not great. And, the two main leads, Samantha Mathis voicing Krista and Jonathan Ward voicing Zach, it's almost like, they say a good director is one of their roles, for one, is to get the vision out onto the screen. But the other is to get a really convincing performance out of your actors. Yeah. You got good actors and all this stuff, but it's up to the director to pull the best bit of that actor out of them, challenge them, push them to different limits emotionally, do multiple takes from multiple different ways or whatever. And I feel like a lot of the stuff with Samantha Mathis was like super one note. It was just like, oh my gosh, it's a human. Yeah. Oh wow, we're a human now.
Definitely felt very one dimensional.
We need to go talk to Maggie.
Yeah, it's hard. Again, it's really short, and it's definitely geared for kids. They have to really make it really cut and dry how simple this story is, and how they have to really define what they're doing and this person good, this person not good.
Correct.
And I think that's a compliment to the movie too, because it's not trying to be something that it isn't. It's leaning into the simplicity of it all.
It's not the complexities of the Iron Giant.
Right.
Where that is
great example.
Where that's definitely, you can watch it as I'm muted. You can watch it as a child. You can show it to a child and they'll enjoy it for what it is. But then you can also watch it as of a more older or mature person and get even
more out of it.
Like peel back the layers even more out of it.
Yeah. It's similar to, so compare it to something like Aladdin. You know that Aladdin good, Jafar bad.
Right.
But the extremes of those characters are way more directly drawn and very, definitively pointed out to the kid audience. But I mean,
I think
you have an all-time voice actor like Robin Williams, who did a great job in both.
Yes.
More memorable in Aladdin, probably just because of the choices that were made by the director or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you have, excuse me, it's not Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons does Scar. I don't know who does Jafar, but what a terrific voice actor that is, and a great villain.
Yeah.
Hexus could be something that is like memorable forever, but I think it kind of gets lumped into a more or less forgettable movie.
Jonathan Freeman voiced Jafar.
Jonathan Freeman, man, I should know that name.
I mean, ultimately though, it comes down to the writing. For Aladdin, the writing was very well done.
I don't think the writing was bad in this. It just fell flat.
Yeah,
there's just not much to it.
Yeah,
that leads to my point though, is that Aladdin, they had memorable songs,
more memorable characters,
very charismatic characters, and with FernGully, although I can see how that someone could have like a nostalgic lens on this kind of movie.
Sure.
Objectively, though, when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, okay, it's this is a kids movie, but it's not.
It's kind of a. And I'll just say this before we kind of get into the group discussion, but I think that for me the big takeaway was it wasn't engaging enough for me, a 38-year-old guy who's never seen it before.
A 38-year-old guy watching FernGully.
Who has seen other movies that have the same message delivered differently.
But done much better and differently. I liked the message.
Yeah.
I like that they're trying to get this environmental aspect out to kids. It just felt a lot of the aspects of the movie felt derivative, and they're pulling off other stuff from other things. And but at the same time, like knowing it was done the same year as Aladdin, Krista's dad, he's this little nymph fairy thing.
Yeah.
I was like, he looks just like the Sultan in Aladdin.
Right.
Yeah, he does.
There's a couple moments. He even talks kind of like him. And I'm like, did they rip that off? This is the same year. It came out the same year. So they couldn't have.
Yeah.
It's very, very strange. There's a lot of weird oddities to this. And I can understand why I don't think people consciously think of it as B-tier animation, but it never is in the same conversation of when you're like, you'll hear people will say, oh, you really have to go visit Treasure Planet or Road to Atlantis or Road to El Dorado or whatever, Atlantis, the Lost Kingdom, because those are groundbreaking sort of pushing the boundaries of animation of that era, and they don't get talked about much. I don't ever hear people lumping FernGully in with the classics of the Disney era because I think it's so far down, step 2 or 3 steps down from that it's just good enough for a child audience.
Right.
And if you have that nostalgic factor to it, like Mackenzie does, or you do, Tyler, it'll hit a little bit more. But for me, I was fighting to stay awake on an hour and 16-minute long movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I got.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to break down this movie other than that. I think the some of the animation was good. I thought what could have been improved on was the background painting. That felt really cobbled together. I think the animation was good, but the backgrounds I wasn't a fan of and it's hard to not compare this style of movie with the movies that, like Akira came out in 1989. And so this movie came out in 92. So like when you compare and contrast like animation styles like that, you're thinking to yourself, I was short sailed or
short shifted
because, but again, this is just a movie just to plop your kids in front of so that you can go and make whoopee.
I guess it's better than putting them in front of like Coco Melon or friggin' Caillou or something like that, where you're just like, this insufferable character we're going to watch. It's like, teach them a little bit about the environment, plop them down right here.
Yeah.
They can have some, sayings from Batty that make no sense,
Yeah. I did thought the existence of Batty was very frightening.
The existence of Batty?
Yeah, because he has the antenna.
Yeah.
And he's crazy because he's been experimented on. It goes over a kid's head. But when I was watching it as a 32 adult male, cis white male,
I got to throw that in there.
Cis white male, proud, goddammit.
And the pronouns in which I say he and him.
How else can you say that you're born a man, male assigned at birth?
Why are you making this clarification? Don't get it twisted. I'm not one of them, they, them.
I just want everyone to know.
Anyways, it was kind of like a terrifying thing to think about that this bat living in this rainforest was experimented on and had this like horrific trauma put on him. Mm-hmm. And it's not really even acknowledged. It's briefly acknowledged, but they don't. And I'm not saying they should have gone into it more, but there should have been a little bit more sympathy for his,
where he came from.
Yeah,
I guess so. I mean, but then that's kind of a little bit more of a heavy subject matter than for kids of this age who would be watching this movie.
Right. And I think this movie could have been a little bit more well regarded if it kind of went into that sort of subject matter of human abuse towards the environment and animal experimentation and stuff like that. But like you would have to write it in a very simple and clever way for it to be digestible for small children.
So what did you think, Pete, where it took place? You said you had a theory. Or
Yes. So Rick and Rock, or whatever their names are. Let's see, what is it? Stump. Ock and what is it?
the ones in the machine.
No, those are the humans. They're cassowaries.
Oh, okay.
The giant birds with the
Oh, yeah.
crown on their head, you know,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like big mohawk looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're at the very beginning of the movie. Cassowaries are native to Australia and New Zealand. And Australia has nothing like this in it.
Yeah.
Jack is basically walking around in a desolate wasteland waiting for Furiosa to accost him every day on his way to work. But in New Zealand, it just looks like this, and Lord of the Rings everywhere.
Yeah.
So this has to be New Zealand,
Okay.
which is strange. And
Do
if
they even have rainforests in New Zealand?
Oh, yeah.
Rainforest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah, it's lush.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
I've been there.
Yeah, go watch Hunt for the Wilder People.
I already did.
And there,
What are they in?
You didn't get that out of that?
They're in the bush.
Yeah, I guess
They're out in the bush.
You're right.
And Oro was Australia before it became a desolate wasteland.
Shit.
Oh.
Yeah. This is pre-Mad Max. This is pre-history.
Yeah.
So, and then there's also wallabies or kangaroos that they see at a couple of points. So
Yeah.
I don't know if those are actually in New Zealand. I can't comment on that.
There's definitely penguins in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
There's
I
definitely
never-
kangaroos in Australia.
And then yeah, that's true. They probably just swam over.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that Tone Loc, I knew it was Tone Loc the second he started singing. He's got that great, deep, raspy voice. He plays also the Ace Ventura's partner in the original Ace Ventura movie.
I didn't know what his actual name was. Tone Loc.
Tone Loc, yeah.
Interesting name.
Tone Loc.
Yeah.
Stage name.
And I think he plays a Degu. I think the lizard that he is a Degu.
Oh, yeah.
Digu.
Yeah, really, really. I liked his song where he was getting ready to eat him.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you spit him out? He's my friend. Any friend of a fairy is a friend of mine, but you owe me a free dinner.
Yeah.
Bitch.
I like that part when he called her a bitch.
Me too.
It was a little out of left field, but you know.
It seemed out of place at the time, but I think as a child they'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think it was lost on a lot of people how terrifying it would be to, one, not only meet a fairy, and two, get shrunken down to the size of this fairy.
Yeah,
You'd be terrified to meet a fairy.
Yes, I would. Are you kidding me?
Why?
Because they're not real?
Wait. In this world, they're real.
No, they don't. He doesn't know that. Zach doesn't know that. He doesn't know fairies are real.
I have a little bit of a problem with the whole concept of the fairies. This is a similar problem I have with the Little Mermaid, okay?
Okay.
They sing a whole...
Mermaids? Come on.
No, it's not that. I'm on board with the mermaids.
Talking fish?
They all speak English.
Right.
It's strange.
Yeah, that is strange.
I assume that Zach speaks English because he's from the valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's talking about tubular babes and shredding the frickin' pipes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he's got the long mullet. Yeah, what's his name?
Prince Charming?
No, fucking
Smith?
Christian Slater
Oh,
from
Christian
Gleaming the
Slater.
Cube or whatever.
Christian Slater, yeah.
Josh Brolin from that one skateboard movie. Can't remember the name. Thrashing. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's great. It's actually really good.
Okay.
But so he speaks English. He gets shrunken down. They speak English. They're all understanding each other now. They're speaking English.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, in The Little Mermaid, they sing a whole song about how I want to be up there on part of the world or whatever. And she goes, up where they walk, up where they run, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And at one point she says, dancing around on those, what do they call them? Feet? Do you not have feet in the ocean? You speak the same language as everybody. Does no ocean creature have a feet?
Could crabs have feet?
Is feet a word that is confusing to this mermaid that speaks English? In FernGully, she
That's
says,
so true. I didn't even think about that.
he says, what do you do for a living? She goes, what do you mean? Do you have a job? And she goes, job? What's that? They speak English.
Yeah,
Either they speak English or they don't speak English. She's confused about this
Maybe
thing.
they just don't have the same vocabulary.
Do they not have a hierarchical society where people have to have jobs?
Maybe it's just a different word.
But why that word about all the other ones? Why can't they speak English and everybody understands it?
And they're fluent in it too.
At least in Avatar, they make
Well,
sense.
if they didn't speak English, we wouldn't understand them.
Yeah, at least in Avatar, they try to make sense out of it because he becomes that entity. He becomes
Yeah,
that
and they
race.
have their own language.
Yeah, and they fuck through their necks or whatever.
10 ponytails.
The other ponytails. My bad, yeah.
Their necks.
They're necking.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, you don't know what the job is. Great, very good for you. You don't have to work. You're a fairy. All his average Joes
I don't
over
think
here.
they have the Oxford Dictionary down in under the ocean.
Well,
Then how'd they learn how to sing the rest of the song?
well, maybe one, was found on a sunken ship.
Well, it's an interesting problem to have with movies because there's other movies where it takes place in a different country where they wouldn't speak English, but they're like 300, right?
Yeah.
They're speaking English to us.
Sure.
My interpretation of watching movies like that is that to us, they're speaking English. In their world, they're speaking whatever language they're supposed to be speaking.
I'm on board with that.
To make it accessible and not considered a foreign movie.
Yeah, but I mean, I think about movies like Apocalypto, though, and they speak the native language
Yeah.
with
very bold
subtitles.
Very bold choice.
Not an accessible movie.
Yeah. Very not also
I don't
not
know.
almost not a kids movie.
Well,
You could plop the kids down in front of that and make love.
Because there are definitely movies like Apocalypto where it's it's like an immersion thing where I want to be in a world where the people are actually speaking and from the world they're supposed to be in or the country they're supposed to be in.
Kevin says he likes it when movies start in a foreign language and then change to English. They do that in Crimson Tide, I think. Crimson Tide, they're speaking like Russian or whatever, and then it zooms in on the speaking Russian, then zooms out, and they're all speaking English. And for the rest of the movie, they're doing English.
A qualm that I have, sorry, Tyler.
Oh, go ahead.
I have this is not about FernGully.
Das Boot.
This is not
It's
about
like
FernGully.
it's movies like where say it's like it takes place in Russia. It's a movie that's not primarily in a foreign language, but there's two characters who are from the same country who both have like Russian accents or something. But they're together alone. They both speak Russian. They understand Russian. They write Russian, but they're speaking English to one another
In Russian.
When you would think it would be easier to speak in your own language.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see. Like they didn't switch back.
Yeah. Like that's something that I notice in movies. I'm like, why don't you just speak in your own language? You're both speaking with a Russian accent.
Yeah.
And you obviously have spoken that language before, but now you're just speaking English with one another.
It's for the audience.
Yeah,
I
but
guess so.
I think it's lost on a lot of people just how terrifying it would be.
Oh, here we go. Back to this again.
Well, I wasn't finished with my point.
To be in front of a fairy?
To find a fairy in a world that nothing supernatural exists, as far as we know. And two, this supernatural creature shrinks you down to her size. You pass out. You can't fly. She can fly. So you're on a tree branch.
You can fly.
You're on a tree branch. You could die. I'm flying. You could die.
And she comes out with a knife pointed at him.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a knife pointed at him. And by the way, they don't even mention the whole because we know that animals eat each other, right? So that lizard certainly tried to eat Zach. So he'd be fighting for his life. He doesn't have magic. He only has a pocket knife. Like there's going to be bugs attacking him. It's going to be like the King Kong bug pit.
So if you discovered if you were on a walk in the woods, I don't know, as you do.
I do walk in the woods.
And you found a fairy that looked like
Krista,
one of these fairies.
Yeah.
Right? You would be scared.
I would be terrified. I would literally sprint into the opposite direction.
What if it was like, wait, I just want to talk?
I would be like, I don't care.
You wouldn't. I don't know.
I wouldn't be inquisitive about it because I don't. Here's the thing.
Which is scarier, a fairy or a witch?
God, a witch, of course.
Are you thinking of the fairies from like Labyrinth, where they bite you? Or
I'm thinking about any.
He's worried that he might be sexually aroused.
Oh, the
by
fairies,
the fairy.
or the fairies from Hellboy, where they eat teeth.
The temptation.
Oh God, yeah.
The temptation is too much.
What if it looked like Tinkerbell?
No.
Again, the sexual frustration.
Yeah,
you're too small.
It'll never work.
Actually, you might just be the right size.
Yeah.
Zing.
I swear, by human scale, it's still big.
No. But this would be a terrifying scenario for Zach, and
he's terrified. He wakes up, he's terrified.
Yeah. So, but to bring up my point, or not my point, but to answer your question. If I encountered a fairy,
what was injured
on my,
Tyler's, I give it mouth to mouth right off the bat.
These scenarios.
She's got a sprained ankle though.
Well, she can't fly. She got a broken wing.
Mouth to mouth, anyways. Doesn't matter. Mouth to mouth.
What if she was like floating in the river? You save her like a bee.
Yeah. Just give her a little sugar water, and then of course the mouth.
I don't know. Maybe I should write a story about me encountering a fairy.
Yeah, bring it to the show next week.
Yeah,
erotic fan fiction.
I'll put pen to page on it. But yeah, I just think that it's so lost on kids that.
The dangers of fairies.
Well, exactly the dangers of fairies.
The more you know.
All she has to say is like this little rhyme, and your life could be permanently altered. What if what if
ants in your pants?
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh, there's ants in my pants. Why would you do that, Krista?
So all she has to do is make a rhyme out of something.
Yeah,
and then flick of the. Did she have a wand or something? Or
she just used her hand. She just made some rhyme, and then she could conjure up things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But that's what I really like when I watch children's movies, because they present these what would seem to be whimsical stories.
Yeah.
But then I like to think of the reality. I put myself in that situation where if a fairy shrunk me down to the size of her own self, I would be mortified.
It's also very convenient that he's exactly the same size. What if he shrunk her down, but he was like 6 inches tall and she's 2 inches tall? He would look like a giant to her still.
Yeah.
And she couldn't carry him around. Or what if he was tiny to her and she could put him in? How small would he be?
Oh
I'd be interested
the
to
size
see
of an ant.
To be shrunk to the size of like a nutcracker.
Oh, a little like
not that small, but like as tall as
like 12 inches, like 12 inches long.
What would that be like? It's also hard to imagine a human that size walking around.
It would be terrifying.
It would be very strange.
It'd be terrifying.
So honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Is that movie scary to you?
I was gonna say that's a documentary.
Yeah, no, that is a scary movie to me. That is a scary
I just think
movie
it was cool to be shrunk down like that.
No, absolutely not.
I could sit on my tiny couch.
Do you think about all the predators that are tiny sized? Come on, no, that's scary.
I think I was also intrigued by the idea because of the Native American in the cupboard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Indian in the cupboard. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Canceled.
That's the name of the. Wait, what? That's the name of the movie.
Canceled.
That's the name of the movie.
That's why I said Native American in the cupboard.
But my god.
Yeah, but what if the name of the title of the movie had the N-word in it? Would you say that?
Probably not.
I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was messaging Kevin on our group chat or on our Facebook Messenger, but on break, and he was just basically disparaging me about my Halloween Ends take, with love. And he said, I'm thinking about certain things that just ruin a movie for me, and for Joseph with Furios, whatever it was. Got in your crawl, you couldn't get past it. Whatever it was. It could have been a lot of things, but sometimes a movie only needs one thing to really, like, as soon as a character does this one thing, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm thinking a lot of people don't take that as valid criticism. Okay, as soon as they said this, I'm out. I can't do it. Some people are like, if there's a rape scene in the movie, I can't watch it, so I give it a 1-star review, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what if a character just drops the N-word like 5 times in a row in one scene? Completely out of place, and then the rest of the movie continues
randomly.
It's like Michael. They're listening to the Michael Richards,
stand up.
Yeah, stand up thing where he blew up. In the Comedy Store or whatever.
Hey, he's right here.
Yeah,
where is he? Right
there he is. Yeah.
He isn't a loathsome, offensive brute.
Loathsome brute. Yeah. So what if that happens in the middle of a movie and then it continues, but it's like a fantastic movie that you love, but just out of nowhere there's
this is that weird part.
It's the Good Will Hunting thing where they just have the gay sex scene and then move on with the story, and you're like, well, that was really out of place.
Oh, in the script.
Yeah. Does that ruin the whole movie for you? And if so, isn't that valid criticism for one character pissing you off?
I think
I don't know if it's valid for you. I think.
Yeah. I think. I mean, it's the only example I can think of, just like right off the bat, is Civil War. The ending really soured the movie for me, because
that pissed a lot of people off.
Up until that ending, I was all in, and then
that could have ruined the movie for me. I still give it a 5-star rating. But I understand what you're saying though, because I was like, what?
Yeah.
The decision of the character and the way that it's shot makes no sense. It
does.
feels so anti-Garland, like a studio wrote that ending or something.
Right. That's what I was thinking as well.
All that being said, FernGully, great movie.
Yeah. Well, the water
Sign of a good movie. We're talking about other movies.
I felt bad for the guy fairy though, because she was leading him on and on.
Pips?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Christian Slater was going to be in it a little bit more. He's second build.
I thought he was like her brother or something.
No, well, if that's the way she hugs her brother, then there's a whole another discussion about that, because in the beginning you're led to believe that that like it's like unrequited love, but she's kind of pulling him along, and then this blonde asshole comes through.
Hey, he didn't ask to be there.
Yeah, he was just doing the worst job. This is his summer gig. What a terrible job. And then he's giving it no effort.
Hey, want to come to deforest the rainforest?
Yeah, bro, freaking sick.
Yeah, it's really good pay, bro.
That sounds like a righteous job, my guy.
Righteous job.
Yeah.
But
Tyler, your mom's in the chat.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Yeah.
She said she wouldn't want to meet a fairy either.
Yeah.
See, yeah, we're cut from the same cloth.
That's right.
Literally.
Terrifying. They have sharp teeth. Yeah, that's the Hellboy 2 version.
Yeah.
They are freaky.
But anyways, as far as FernGully goes, I felt bad for the male fairy because he was getting drug along.
He's getting cooked.
Yeah, I don't know if you're using that term correctly, but
when they banged on that lily pad, he was watching.
Yeah.
Did you notice in the scene where they're singing and they're both floating around in the water and she gives him the fairy powers for a second?
Yeah.
And they kiss for a second and then they get away and he like looks down like he's looking at his schwanz.
I noticed that.
And then it turns out he's just floating and you're like, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. About to have the hardest boner right now.
Yeah, no,
Your son said that, Jamie.
No, no, I knew what they were getting up to on that waterfall.
They knew.
They're fornicating.
There was a lot of underwater stuff.
And the male fairy was watching and crying while he was abusing himself.
Definition of a cuck.
I have a little bit of a parallel, some inspiration. In 1986's American Tail, the prequel to Fievel Goes West, we covered on this show.
Yeah.
There's a character named Digit who's like a cockroach, who's the accountant for the bad rat or cat or whatever he is. He has the antennas with the electricity going through it all the time.
Yeah.
As he's like calculating and stuff.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of Batty in this.
Yeah. I think Batty was underused.
I do too. I feel like it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Trying to think here, anything else specifically. We have Life is a Magic Thing. That's like the title track or whatever, the big single from this movie. I don't remember it at all. Batty Rap.
Oh yeah. I remember the rap, but I don't really remember how it went.
Yeah.
So listen to this. If I'm going to eat somebody, in parentheses, it might as well be you. Written by Jimmy Buffett and Mike Utley.
Get ready.
Performed by Tone Loc.
Jimmy Buffett.
Toxic Love, catchy song. Don't remember it. Raining Like Magic. Written by Raffi, the children's guy.
Oh yeah, Deanna pointed that out. She was like, "Is this Raffi?"
It is Raffi. Land of a Thousand Dances. Don't remember that. A Dream Worth Keeping. Alan Silvestri and Jimmy Webb, and then Some Other World, written by Elton John and Bruce Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, that's where all the budget went.
Yep.
Yeah. So Toxic Love, that song, which was performed by Tim Curry, had obvious sexual themes and implications, and various verses from the original song were cut and or rewritten to make it more appropriate for a family movie.
Interesting.
And Tim Curry's original voice recordings were so eerie and sinister that it made children cry during test screenings.
He's creepy.
She had to be called back to record some less intimidating retakes.
Oh, yeah, Tim, can you tone it down a little bit?
You're scaring the kids.
The kids are crying. FernGully grossed $32.7 million worldwide, which included $24 million from the US, $3.4 from Australia.
$20 million movie, right?
24.
Yeah,
$24 million movie. It had moderate success, it was described as, but it had a very big home video market.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, there was a
sequel.
Yeah, there was a sequel. 1992 sequel did not equal a third of the gross for Disney's 1991 film Beauty and the Beast. Let's see what else. And the profits for it, Wayne Young stated that the portions of the film's gross would be donated to Greenpeace and the Rainforest Foundation Fund and the Sierra Club, as well as special fund benefiting environmental projects administered worldwide by the Smithsonian Institute.
Nerd.
Although he did not disclose the exact figures. These are Hollywood accounting.
Oh, yeah.
The film inspired a 1992 video game the same year from Capcom called FernGully. The FernGully it was called. It was the computerized coloring book was the full title.
Coloring book?
The FernGully computerized coloring book.
Oh, okay.
In 1998, the film was followed by a direct-to-video sequel, FernGully 2, The Magical Rescue.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's everything I have to say about the movie.
Yeah, I mean, what's more else to say other than like our,
things
hypothetical?
Things happen very quickly. But things like he gets drunk, he accepts that he's small, and then he's like, we're gonna stop this guy that I was working for, and then it's over.
I realize that I'm bad now.
Yeah, I was the baddie the whole time.
Yeah. I know. Are we the baddies? So that's FernGully, the last Rainforest from 1992.
Did Mackenzie still like it?
She says, in her thing, she says it still is very watchable and she still really likes it.
Yeah, she says it still holds up. But
now, how much did you get watching this and having seen Avatar? How much did you get, like, in terms of comparisons in terms of the story?
Not a ton, to be honest. I mean, you have an outsider who is being introduced into more or less kind of forcefully, accidentally sort of introduced into this nature-focused subculture, and then they realize after the fact that, maybe I should be nice to nature. Other than that, I didn't have a huge amount of it. I mean, unobtainium they're mining for, but it's like a general involved, a couple of guys in a bulldozer.
I can't believe he called it unobtainium. I can't believe he got away with that.
I'm pretty sure that's like a placeholder name for, it's in a lot of movies, unobtainium.
Is it really?
But it's kind of accepted, like you're supposed to replace it afterwards with a different name.
It's like when you're looking at fonts and it says lorem ipsum.
Lorem ipsum, yeah, exactly.
You're supposed to change it like Mad Libs.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of like a story as old as time. One guy comes from a different cultural experience.
Yeah.
Goes into another cultural experience. Learns that culture.
It's for different generations.
I mean, I don't know.
I haven't seen Avatar in a really long time.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I didn't see the sequel either.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah.
Not impressed.
I didn't watch it either.
Fuck Avatar 2.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I did watch Pocahontas recently for the first time. And
I love Pocahontas.
After or before?
Before this. Okay. Before FernGully. Like, I don't know, like a month ago or something like that. And I don't see... I mean, it's the groundwork of the story is about the same, but there's so much more.
But also, like the story of Pocahontas is something that happened in real life.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so we believe.
Yeah,
Pocahontas was my first crush.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
How do you think she would feel if you calling her what you said earlier?
I was saying the title of the movie for Christ's sakes. Come on.
Canceled.
I can't win. I can't win.
All right, so let's go some grades on it. Tyler, you've already given us a
Mother
B-
confirmed.
B-.
Tyler loved Pocahontas.
Yeah,
loved
the person or the movie. Both.
Probably both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
he took his hand to himself.
My mother's in the chat.
He called her Coco Pontus.
Yeah.
Coco Pontus.
Yeah.
Coco Pontus.
I'll still side with my letterbox grade as a B-. I mean, you get what? What?
Your brother's outing you right now.
Your mom says that you used to kiss the TV when the movie was on when you watched it.
Mom.
I love it.
I caught up with his pants down.
I know.
Anyways,
I want to see that picture. Post it on the Ugly Truth Facebook page.
Yeah, picture evidence.
Yeah.
God, I hope not. Don't you do it. But God damn it. I'm all flustered now.
I can see your face is turning bright red.
I know, I'm crimson.
I know.
I still agree with my grade though as a B-. It's you get what you get, and they don't try too hard. They don't try too little. It's like what Joseph said, very middle in the ground, and I can appreciate that. And I think that is actually a great compliment for a film that
more mid movies.
Exactly.
More mid movies.
Yeah.
More mid movies.
So B-.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like a B on it. It's just very average. If I had watched it as a kid, I'd have a little bit more appreciation for it, but I did not. I didn't even know it existed until a few years ago. So, yeah, there's not much to take from it because the movie kind of paints it pretty cut and dry, what it's about and what it's supposed to mean, I guess.
All right.
So yeah, B.
Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna go. I'm low on this scale.
F.
Give it like a C, like a low C. I think that there's like sloppy editing. There's like animation points that don't match up with the lyrics at all. I mean, and the version that I watched was on Tubi, and it was like an Arrow Video Kids.
Yeah.
Really good quality video. I imagine this is like the best version that you're gonna get to be put out. So I mean, maybe the original one was a little bit more put together, but I highly doubt it. And I think that the songs are probably the best part of it, and the overall message, even though it's a message for 10-year-olds. You know, it's like very these are the bad guys, these are the good guys. Don't be the bad guys.
Yeah.
Don't eat cake on the clock.
Yeah.
Don't have buck teeth. Don't be a big fat guy that
why do you have cake?
The big fat guy that talks like he's from New York. You know, it's like you're bad if you're from New York. I don't know. I got mixed up in that message.
That is a good question. Why did he have cake?
Because he's a big fat guy.
Yeah, but where he like is that
that was his lunch.
It's not an environment for cake.
Yeah, I like how they also said that Zach clocked off, for the day. It's like, where did he go? They must have like base camp there. He just went back to town.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, I don't know. It was like a C. I really did not enjoy myself very much, and
it's an hour and 16 minutes too long.
Sorry, Kenzie.
I had to force myself to enjoy it, which is why like I had to create these horrifying scenarios of
no, I get it. And here's the thing. I'm glad I watched it though, because the first time I watched it, like, if you're only exposed to high quality, top tier stuff all the damn time, and you watch something like Akira, you're like, this is pretty par for the course for animation.
Yeah.
And then not realizing that that's one of the most heavily detailed, really impressive, like world building animated movies, hand drawn cells over and over and over again. And stuff like Aladdin and Little Mermaid and all these like Kino animation. It's like, if you don't stop and go, there is some B stuff, B tier and C tier stuff out there. And that's not bad. It's not like it's a piece of shit. No one should ever see it again. But it gives you a basis of comparison to be able to look at the stuff that is considered a classic and go, that's why it's considered a classic, because this is, I could still see all the effort put into FernGully and a lot of benefits to it, but it's just not as high quality of a product as those other classics. And it's not a classic for a reason, in my opinion. So
yeah.
C for me, B minus for Tyler, and a B for Joseph.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, that's all we got. Now it's time for the Wheel of Destiny. 1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny. All right, FernGully's off the wheel. Oops.
What'd you do?
I just need to erase it from the wheel here. Okay, so that was the Patreon pick. Thank you, Mackenzie. And also, thank you very much for your support.
Yes.
Our Patreon members.
Very much appreciated.
Keep the show going. You have your monthly donations, mean a lot. They allow us to do fun stuff and grow the show and get better and have the excitement of knowing that people actually value what we're doing and listen on a regular basis. So I really appreciate that. The next up in rotation is our old pal, Jack, who is a Patreon member as well.
He's been up there a couple times.
Has he?
I feel like.
What was it?
And Patreon. Didn't he have one earlier this year?
What was it?
I don't know. I feel like he had one earlier.
Let me look. Let me double check. I don't think we had Jack's Patreon up.
I could have sworn we did.
Let's look. Let's take a moment.
Are we going through our catalog here?
No, I'm going to go to my Patreon notes.
Oh, okay.
Let's confirm that. Patreon dates. Here we go. Okay, so we had Frankenhooker. That was Andrew Martin.
That's where he made us watch something.
I don't remember. I don't think so. Yeah, he's the next one up. I have the Stanford Prison Experiment. He might have had donated pick.
Oh, okay.
But Mackenzie's off now. Binge Lord Dan has the very long engagement. What was Javier's? Javier's was Blackberry. We did his already.
Oh, there's Jack right now.
Oh, hi, Jack. Shouldn't you be asleep, my guy?
We're just talking about you.
Yeah, I am so late. What time is it over there?
Yeah, you are late, Jack.
21 hours.
What kind of fan are you?
23 hours ahead?
Something like that. I think it's 21. I think you're right. Yeah, so we're going to put Stanford
9 a.m.
Oh,
Stanford
You just woke up.
Prison Experiment.
Stanford Prison Experiment.
Yeah.
Jack, you don't have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, you don't have a Memorial.
Because
Actually,
you're not in America.
I was going to comment on...
It's okay, Jack. I don't either.
On Memorial Day weekend, Tyler's least favorite holiday. We have to remember things.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Why is it my least favorite holiday?
I just said because you have to remember things. A holiday about remembering. Not your strong suit.
All right.
It's funny because it's true.
Okay, cool. So we have a very Stanford Prison Experiment on now for Jack, the Patreon pick. We have Mute from Pete. The Brave Little Toaster. We should go back to back with kids animation for Pete. The Iron Claw from Tyler. American History X from Tyler. Dune Part 1 and Part 2.
Oh, God.
For Joseph.
I forgot about
I like the Dune. At the bottom part.
I just got my 4K Dune Part 2 disc in the mail.
Nice.
Notting Hill from Joseph. A Very Long Engagement from Binge Lord Dan, and that's what we got. So we're going to spin the wheel. This is what we watch next week.
Oh, God. Not a very long spin.
Oh, my God, I called it. It's The Brave Little Toaster.
Okay.
Yes.
Animation block in May.
I remember this movie being very dark.
Another movie I've never seen. Another kids animated movie I haven't seen.
I have it on VHS if you want to watch it together. We'll watch it on a TV VCR combo. Put it in the living room. Okay, so Brave Little Toaster, let's take a look and see if that's streaming anywhere. It's probably on Disney.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
Let's see here. Is it Disney? I don't know.
Or is it now Disney?
The Brave Little Toaster, watch now, not available for streaming anywhere.
You can't rent it?
It says you can't rent it.
What?
It's probably for free on YouTube. They're like an unauthorized list.
That's weird.
An inaccessible classic cartoon movie.
Adam, you hear that? Yeah. Brave Little Toaster, full movie on YouTube.
How long is it?
Hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Really?
1.5 million views, uploaded 7 years ago, still up.
Yeah, so it's all right. It's good.
All right.
It's an NTSC version, full screen format.
Damn it. I only watched the PAL version.
You only watch PAL? Oh, son of a bitch. Oh, yeah. Can't wait for this. We'll see. I'm going to watch it on VHS. We'll see what happens. This is a movie I was on repeat from my childhood.
So why did you put the... I guess we'll find out.
Because we didn't have FernGully on the wheel at the time, and I wanted to do a throwback like
we didn't have
kids animation movie from my childhood.
Okay.
So that's all it is. And
all right.
We'll do it next week.
Sweet.
All right. Anything else, fellas?
I think that's it.
All right.
No.
So thank you to our cool ass yardities over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather Sachs, Ryan, Corbin, and Chris. And thank you to everybody in the YouTube live chat. We got a handful of people in there right now. Thank you to Jamie for jumping in, Tyler's mother.
Yes.
Go listen to her podcast. It's called The Ugly Truth, UGLEE Truth, which is an ongoing, long-running podcast with Tyler's mom. With Tyler's made a few appearances on.
I did.
I love your episodes, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Jack's in the chat. He popped in for a moment. Kevin from Real Spoilers. Bruce Perky from Cinematics. Andrew from Cult of Cinema. Joe Bridges. Did I miss somebody?
I feel like
David Rosen from Piecing It Together.
I feel like we're a part of a universe right now, like the Marvel universe.
It's the homies.
It's the cinema.
Bree was there.
Oh yeah, Brianna was in there for a minute.
Yeah.
I asked her to check my audio, and then she actually watched the whole show.
Oh,
well, not this part.
Yeah, the first half.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I already did it. It's
yeah,
fine.
and thanks, Kevin. Man, it was really fun. It's great when we have people in the chat. It makes the live stream a little bit more interactive and fun. And if you're a podcast listener, make it over to the YouTube. It's a lot of fun. You can watch it immediately, and it's unedited. You get all the
raw, uncut,
warts and all.
Yes.
Yeah. So until next time. Thank you once again to everybody for joining. And for the first half, the Gavin Chatter, thank you for Peter John Ross of Social Media Monster. Follow us next week as we review The Brave Little Toaster, which you cannot watch anywhere.
Except on YouTube.
Except for it's illegally on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
No way, Kevin.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class, and leave us a voicemail, why don't you, at 209-730-6010.
And follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class, and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
All right, we'll see you next time, guys.
See you later.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I got
gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.